Today we're talking with Tim Trotter, who's the Executive Director of the Edge Dairy Cooperative based in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Tim, welcome, and tell us a little bit about your co-op.
Sure, I'd be glad to. Edge Dairy Cooperative actually was formed back in 2010. We represent over 10 billion pounds of milk in the United States, over a 9-state area, geographic location, primarily in the Midwest. Our core role within the industry is a verification co-op for our members who sell to private processors. So we represent their milk in the federal order, but also we do, and it's something that our board made a decision over 2 years ago, was to get more involved in federal policy. So a lion's share of the funding that we get from our farmers goes towards making sure that their voice is heard in the marketplace.
Well, that's interesting because what prompted my contact with you was a news release that your co-op sent out last week, I guess expressing the hope that there can be free and fair trade for dairy and a bit of concern about the tariff issues that were bubbling up last week and continue to be perhaps on your front burner. Tell us a little bit about your policy regarding those matters and a little bit of behind the scenes of your news release.
Well, that's a good question. You know, as you look at Edge and its members, the DNA of Edge's members is really about free markets. It's about having the opportunity to compete globally. We want less government intervention in what we do. In return for less government intervention, we want free markets. So essentially what we're trying to do is provide an environment where dairy farmers in America can take advantage of all the great opportunities there are globally to provide protein, to provide nutrition to people abroad. Our viewpoint on trade policy is simple. We want, first of all, do no harm, and you've heard this from many other organizations. Trade policy over time in agriculture has been very favorable. In NAFTA is a good example. We have a growing market in Mexico. It's a tremendous marketplace for us. And whenever we hear indications that there's going to be retaliation, that there's going to be tariffs, that there's going to be hardball to get to the end game, that's concerning to us because the majority of our members are looking at negative cash flows. One thing they don't need is uncertainty about their current market, let alone trying to grow the marketplace. So we are always very mindful that our politicians, our negotiators, all the people who make laws need to know exactly where dairy farmers stand. So this is why we do what we do.
Are you finding a sympathetic ear among your fellow dairy organizations as well as among the politicians in the Congress?
I think for the most part we are. I mean, obviously dairy is a good deal for America. Right now, one cow produces milk 1 day a week just for the export markets. And you look at the growth that we can see for creating jobs here in America, for giving dairy farmers an opportunity to pass the farm to the next generation. It's very, very important that we always communicate this to our legislators. And frankly, yes, they do get it. But in the art of negotiations and trade deals, we know that that's always an ever-evolving drama at times. And I think right now, we just want to make sure that everybody that's got our best interest at heart knows how important this is to dairy farmers today.
Tim, among our viewers, if we have folks who would like to get in touch with you to offer support or to learn more about your policy positions, how would they do that? How would they reach you?
Well, simply go to thevoiceofmilk.com. That is our website. We are based here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We represent milk from private processors, milk that doesn't go to a cooperative right now. That's really, we represent the milk that goes to private processors. And when you think about it, all of our milk, all of the milk that we represent goes into cheese or processed goods. So we're really looking at the value-added market. So people who are selling to a private processor and say, you know what, we want to really help the initiative of what Edge is all about, just go to our website and that'll help you direct us to us.
That's great. Thank you very much. We're speaking today with Tim Trotter at the Edge Dairy Cooperative, and this is Joel Hastings with DairyBusiness.com.